Greetings, Indy 11 fans from high atop Carroll Stadium, and yes, dry in the press box. I am dry in the press box, but I'm John Cluter. Dry in the press box on the other side. Joining us shortly is Josh Mason. We are stranded in the press box tonight due to wet weather conditions. Means we won't have any player or coach interviews for tonight, following the 1-1 draw between your Indy 11 and Atlanta United 2. There you are, Josh. How's the other side of the press box treating you?
It's fantastic outside of tonight's results, sir.
And we try to be positive. We try not to sugarcoat things, and so we'll essentially say this is one of those draws that obviously feels like a loss. A 1-1 duel against Atlanta United in what kind of amounted to a postseason chances death match for both sides, both really needing 3 points to keep pace with both Oklahoma City and Memphis 901 FC. And for 94 plus minutes, it looked like Indy 11 had the full 3 points secured, only to see Atlanta's last gasp in attack come to fruition, therefore bringing a share of the spoils. Aiden McFadden's rebound at the death, countering Manuel Arteaga's 53rd minute finish, a carbon copy of the goal he scored Wednesday night in OKC off service from Iose with a well-placed header into a lower corner of goal. Really a frustrating match for Indy 11 a little bit until that goal came. Atlanta had 8-2 advantage in shots in the first half, a 70 to 30% advantage in possession. That being said, never really felt like Atlanta was on the front foot all that much in the first 45 minutes. I think being a fifth match in 14 days' time, I think Indy 11 purposely kept numbers behind the ball, slowed the pace a little bit. Neither team had a shot on goal until the 26th minute through Atlanta, and then Indy countered through Arteaga with a chance on frame around the half-hour mark. And while Atlanta did have more of the chances and likely the better of them, really nothing that cost Bobby Edwards too much of a threat in goal. And then Indy flipped the script coming out of the second half. Again, we're seeing, and I'll give Trey Higdon a tip of the cap for mentioning Iose as the player to watch in tonight's contest for Indy 11. That magical left foot, again, coming into play. And again, it was just like Wednesday night's goal. A fantastic ball from about 35, 40 yards out on the left flank to the top of the six. And Manuel only had one mark to beat, and he did it easily. Really gave Rocco Rios Novo no chance on the shot. To put India up 1-0, Atlanta with some chances from distance around the hour mark, put nothing on frame. And Indy, the game really kind of started to open up from there. Patrick Segrist had a couple good carries down the left-hand side, one resulting in a near-post chance that almost doubled it up around the 70th minute. And from there, it was just pretty much Indy effectively killing off the game until the last gasp. And, rainy conditions, wet conditions all day here at Carroll Stadium, starting with the Alzheimer's Walk that we were here for this morning. Thank you to everyone from the Alzheimer's Walk who participated in that and came to tonight's match. We thank you for your presence here tonight as a quick aside. And it didn't seem like the wet conditions really had any effect on the goalkeeping until that last chance. Edwards saved looked like he did save the initial shot on a header by Mackie Diop, who was all over the place for Atlanta, especially as the match waned in the final 20, 25 minutes. He again was able to get ahead on the ball that Edwards had in his grasp, but the ball slipped out of his hands, took a couple bounces, and Aiden McFadden was there to swoop in. Again, McFadden, I believe, scored the goal in the 1-0 win here last month. So McFadden, again, playing the spoil for the boys in blue and dooming Indy 11 to a share of the spoils. Bob, sorry. No, Indy 11 did not win the game. It was a 1-1 draw. Although the tone, again, as we mentioned, it's just one of those draws that feels like a loss. Um, and you're you're forgiven to be frustrated with the result as it was. Outside of the final goal, I think in 11 expertly played that match out to its conclusion. Alex Dunphy says, "Just finish the game off. Don't play the sportsmanship games." I don't know if there's much sportsmanship. Uh, I, I, what I think maybe Alex is getting at is the killing the game off, which there's obviously two schools of thought to go on that route. You can go for that second, you can go for that dagger. I think once that Seagrass chance went to side in the 70th minute, I think you did see in the 11 look to clamp things down, and really they did until 5 minutes into 3 minutes of stoppage time. But again, you got to play to that final whistle. Unfortunately, if you allow a cross to get off in that situation, things could happen. So you'd like to see the ball not even get into the area on that chance and put guys in that position. But it did. It happened. So be it. And now Indy 11 and Atlanta still tied for that sixth spot in the Central Division standings. We'll go to live standings here. Both teams 4 points behind OKC Energy and Memphis 901 FC as things stand. Memphis with a stranglehold 3-0 lead in Tulsa at the moment as that match nears the 60th minute. A own goal by Bradley Bourgeois in the 17th minute, opening the scoring on behalf of Memphis before Laurent Kissiadou's double in the last 10 minutes in the first half blew that thing wide open in favor of Memphis with a half hour remaining. So should that stand, Indy and Atlanta would sit 4 points behind both OKC and Memphis. OKC plays tomorrow. They will host a interdivisional affair against San Antonio FC. That will kick off from Taft Stadium at 6 p.m. Tune in to ESPN Plus if you'd like to track that one. So while not all hope is lost on the playoff front, still 4 games remaining. Indy can still get to 43 points. Again, by all means, the math is still there for the taking, but it's going to take 3-point results from here on out to make a dent against those squads. We will all be the biggest San Antonio FC fans. Send Cam Lindley all the love you possibly can over the next 20 hours. Make sure Indiana's Own is helping Indiana's team in the playoff hunt. The thing now is the games in hand situation. Okay, so we'll be even on games in hand after tomorrow night's affair. Memphis still has 3 games in hand on Indy and 4 on Atlanta United FC. So Memphis obviously will have an incredibly congested schedule down the stretch here in October, just as Indy 11 got done with our most congested part of the schedule, 5 games in 2 weeks. With tonight's match, things will settle down a little bit for Indy before we take the field next Sunday at your new divisional leader in Birmingham Legion FC, at least divisional leader until tomorrow, when Louisville will have a chance to jump back in the top spot. They too host an interdivisional affair against New Mexico United at Lynn Family Stadium. That will be a 3 p.m. kickoff. Josh, I've talked a lot. I'll allow you to hop in here and interrupt my soliloquy here.
No, I think you do a great job recapping where we are as a club right now as it relates to the board, the standings, and what we saw this evening. I said what I saw at the end of the game, and we'll speak to it here a little bit, was a little bit more fight than I expected later in the game, if you will, no pun intended. I do want to call out being Hispanic Heritage Night. I want to thank our friends at Morales Group and for Financial Credit Union for being great partners this evening. Loved what we got done with Exitos Radio. Love for those of you who did attend the game this evening. Thank you for braving the rain, per usual. We need every bit of your energy, to your point, is that we have to deliver 3 points when we're at home. So the more of you are here, the easier that is that task to be accomplished. So thank you for everyone who did attend this evening. A few quick notes in the game, John, that I saw is that in a lot of ways, while it was a 1-1 draw, we can only blame ourselves for the goals we didn't take, or the shots we didn't take, or what I felt we got to be a little bit long off the left there. Seagrass, Ioze both had some great opportunities off the left there to make runs on goal, get one-on-one. Gordon Wild missed an early one-on-one. So we can't put it all on just on what Bobby happened at the end of the game. Obviously, if you wanted 3 points, to your point, you can either, play the Jose Mourinho back, park the bus, or you can go out and try to get your additional points. So we had other opportunities. We left on the field this evening, left on the pitch, but I'm proud of the guys. I like the fact they're willing to pick each other up. And as we all know, based on recent announcements, we have additional firepower coming and available to us. So what we do between now, to your point, and the rest of the year to close out this 2021 season will be very telling in terms of what we look like, not only going into potential playoffs, but what we look like as a 2022 squad.
You mentioned those reinforcements. Good to see Peter Vaso back in the squad. Some issues getting him back in the country following his last international stint with the Jamaican men's national team. He got back in market yesterday, was on the bench, and obviously made an appearance in the second half this evening. Also flying into Indianapolis literally today, Emmanuel Ledesma. He is in the Hoosier States and ready to contribute. I saw him in the group chat. So he's already having some back and forth with the guys, and maybe that's it's hard to take any real positives away after in the aftermath of a result like this. But if any, you bring in a former league MVP into the squad after they are able to take this off after a few days, and that's the type of thing that maybe does bring the paddles in to jolt the season back in place. There are 4 games, and there is still everything to play for regarding that postseason spot. So Manu, number 2, we'll see what he can do heading down the stretch here for the 11. Bring up John Proctor's comment if you could, Josh, just because he mentioned the fight of the team, both figurative and literal. I wonder what the league is going to do about the aftermath of the match. We can't confirm there were not red cards, but yellow cards issued posthumously in the match to Jordan Farr and I believe it was number 5, not Mackie Diop, but Amadou. No, sorry, Abdoulaye Diop. Both sides saw a caution out of that. If there is anything else coming out of that, we'll probably know by Monday or Tuesday. I don't think there will be. I think it was a lot of posturing and bad words, but in the end, I don't think there was anything too malicious that will draw further attention from the league office down in Tampa. But we'll know more about that in the coming days. Todd Beckley says should have never been in the box. Then simple blown by keeper. Bummer, but that's the season. It is a bummer, and to Josh's point, I'll say that there were a lot of things that could have stopped that play before it happened. You win as a team, you lose as a team, you draw as a team. Tonight we drew as a team, and obviously if you saw Bobby Edwards' reaction following the goal, obviously no one's more crushed about this than number 26. But heck of a matchup to that point. He made the 3 saves he had 3 saves he had a chance to do. In fairness, the squads were even in shots on target until that point, both with 3. Now Atlanta did have a 20-6 advantage in shots overall. You saw them shooting from the top of the area and just inside, just outside a ton, trying to see if they can get something past Edwards from distance. And they couldn't, and that's partially because of his play and the play of the Indy 11 back line. And I want to give a shout out to Toby Adewale. Jared Timmer, who made a ridiculous recovery run around the 75th
Yeah, he did.
minute.
79th, yeah, he did.
What for me was probably the play of the night for the 11. Just indicative of, again, the fight this team is showing. On a 1v1 chance that Diop had, seemingly bearing down against Edwards, but fantastic backtracking run by Timmer to thwart the opportunity and keep the match at 1-0 at that point. John Proctor, again, the potential for this club to be good is, I feel like
it's a fill in the blank
next game scenario here. The potential for this club to be good is, Josh, do you want to finish that one?
I mean, it's as good as the results we have on the field. I mean, we have the talent. We have, I mean, you saw the tenacity. And as anybody who's ever played on a wet surface ever in the sport of soccer knows, the ball is never dead till the ball is dead. And it's, you got to give the credit to a young man who gets off the pitch and gets himself a goal by putting in hard work. So, as I said, a bummer for Bobby, but I said, end of the day, this is our club. We all support this club. We all love this club, and we'll continue to do so. I appreciate there are high expectations for what we do and what's on the pitch, and I hope that continues because that shows that you all really genuinely care, and we hope to continue to bring you great opportunities to celebrate this club when we both win, lose, and or draw.
And I'll finish this by saying the potential for this club to be good is still present. Again, I don't want to overblow the impact that a player with the talent level of Emmanuel Ledesma can bring. But you add that on top of Manuel Arteaga, who finished off his ninth goal of the season. You give another scoring threat. You put another legit scoring threat on the field. Manu has done has done such heavy lifting for this squad, especially over the last month and a half, 2 months, to score goals for this squad, and he needs help in doing that. Ledesma can come into that and come into that role and maybe pick up some of the slack on that. And that's not to take anything away from the current options there are, but his playmaking ability and his finishing ability allow you to line things up maybe a little differently and get something different out of players like Gordon Wilde, like Nicky Law, who aren't, banging in goals left and right. Now, they can't finish. They have the ability to, but, maybe that allows them to set up in different ways and bring into the attack some more swashbuckling runs from Wild, some different ways for Law to provide passes to the Manus up top. And so it allows, I think, you to get different things out of some of the guys who we still expect to see in the 11 down the stretch in these final 4 games. Josh, I believe you have a blatant plug here.
It's, John, I think it's just that time. We talk about the Grand Park man of the match. I mean, granted, we always want to make sure we talk about, we talk about the good things. We got to talk about the bad things. But let's talk about the good things here. I said, for me personally, I almost want to split between Ayoze and Arteaga again, second match, very similar link play. My call out would be those two. The other one I would probably call as an honorable mention would be Jared Timmer. Completely consistent on the pitch tonight. Tracked down what could have been a clear one-on-one goal. To your point, around the 75th, 79th minute. So those are the three guys that really stood out for me tonight. Be curious what the fans have to say tomorrow morning when they can vote. John?
Yep. Obviously, Arteaga for finishing off that goal, and Io for the continued service. I thought Patty Segrist was active tonight, same as he was 3 nights ago in Oklahoma City. I thought his effort on that left flank from that new look back four was impressive, and I'll agree with. I think Timmer and Adewale both were standouts on the mat. So I try to pull up some defensive stats here. Timmer had 10 clearances. That's nutty. Adewale was next with 5. I mean, Timmer seemed to be everywhere because he was everywhere. And again, that's personified on that backtracking run. So I I would have to go with those two for a stout defensive effort. Again, there's a difference between seeing 20 shots and allowing 20 shots. I think tonight you saw the Indy defense see 20 shots fired off. Not all those, nearly all those were of any danger. So I thought the defensive, especially that back four, Kofi in front of them and Sissoko in front of them as well, did enough to keep the dangerous chances at distance and really not allow many opportunities in the heart of the area. So fully of an effort to the entire back line for yeoman's work tonight. And again, in my heart, in my head, that is another shutout for Indiana's team. Things happen. So I want to give the defensive effort plot. It's the same as Wednesday night. I think they rebounded well from last Sunday's game in Oklahoma City, and I've done good with the reinforcements. I mean, you plug out a Wale straight in, change the formation a little bit, I think, to accommodate, and I think that it's really done well. Max Rogers has emphasized being a club that's hard to play against, and I think that addition has proven that point in the last two matches. Travis Phelps chimes in. This is Ioze, man of the match, easy. I can only imagine. Trey, is he going to be on the Final Four? Of course he is, says Trey Higdon, who will fire up the man of the match, Grant Park man of the match poll tomorrow morning. And Todd Beckley says Ioze service is spectacular. Again, and it's, if you're not going to manufacture 2 or 3 goals a night, that service, set pieces, crosses, and getting bodies inside the area to get on the end of them going to be pivotal if Indy's going to keep scratching across enough goals to win. I mean, let's face it, we're not averaging 4 goals a game. Carroll Stadium has proven to be the toughest place to score in the entirety of the USL Championship. So with 2 of our 4 games down the stretch here at the mic, they're going to be gritty efforts. They're going to be 1-0s. They're going to be 2-1s. So, creating those chances are going to be at a premium. But Ioze is a guy who can do it out of thin air. And you throw in a relationship with Ledesma in there, and I am salivating to see what that attack would look like here down the stretch. Anything extra here, Josh, as we power things down here from the press box?
Nope. That's what I say. Thank you, everyone, who showed up in the rain this evening. You're generally appreciated as fans and supporters. Tough night at 1-1 draw. Thank you all for being here. Thank you for tuning in to the Central Indiana post-game show brought to you by our Central Indiana Honda dealers. We appreciate you. And on behalf of John and myself, John, take us out.
Thank you, everyone. Indiana, USA, the world, for joining us. We'll see you back here at the mic Saturday, October 16th. It's Real Men Wear Pink Night. That will be benefiting the American Cancer Society and also presented by our friends at Community Health Network Foundation. We will have some more information on some pink warm-up jerseys available, both for retail and for in a special sales opportunity. I think season ticket members are going to get word of that opportunity first. We'll have some of the squad sign their pink warm-up jerseys that they'll wear prior to that match on the 16th against Louisville. And then we wrap things up here at home on the 23rd. That will be Fan Appreciation Night, presented as always by your Central Indiana Honda dealers. That match coming against FC Tulsa. We started the home season with Tulsa. We will end it against Tulsa. A couple 7 o'clock kickoffs. More on those games to be found at indy11.com/promotions in the coming days. And then next Sunday, we will hit the road back down to BBVA Field in Birmingham, Alabama, where the current top of the table in the Central, Legion FC, will host Indiana's team. That is a 5 p.m. kickoff next Sunday. You can catch that on ESPN Plus and also follow that live on Twitter at Indy11 Live. Again, presented by your Central Indiana Honda dealers. For Josh, I'm John. Again, Indy 11, 1-1 draw tonight against Atlanta United 2. We'll see everyone follow next Sunday, and we'll see you back here in 2 weeks at the mic. Take care, Indiana.
Bye.